nobody wanted to leave, and really kind of nobody did. So it's a great situation. Antonio Brown does not have to be the carry the offense guy he was in Pittsburgh in Tampa Bay. He just doesn't have to. He does everything they want him to do, and he loves it. So it makes total sense for him to go back there.
Yeah, and RC, I hear you laughing. You know, when you win the Super Bowl like the Bucs did and you got Brady, it's not a surprise that nobody wants to leave and they want to stick around.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But also, when we talk about Antonio Brown, think about as the season progressed. You listen to Dan talk about learning the offense on the fly, being able to play fast, also finding your place in the offense, the big catches in the Super Bowl. You go back to the Washington football team game and the big plays down the field. He was starting to get more involved in this offense, and you could see how comfortable Tom Brady was with going to him with the football. I think that only takes a step up this year. I think he becomes more of a presence on this offense where they can truly pick their poison week in and week out where they have the best matchup. And that's what Tom Brady has been best at throughout his career. This team is going to be incredibly good from the beginning of the season until the end if they stay healthy. And this is probably an underrated signing when you talk about the overall success of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year.
With what the Bucs have done this offseason, with this move, we may have just gotten one step closer to seeing the Bucs and the Chiefs back in the Super Bowl again. All right, thanks, guys. I want to get you right to the performance of the night, though, because this one was incredible. The Nationals taking on the Blue Jays. I'll let you just watch this because it really is this good. Bottom third, Nats up 3-0. Matt Scherzer on the mound facing Vlad Guerrero Jr. Keep watching him the whole time. Look at that. Taking that slider deep left for the grand slam. Scherzer had a 17 consecutive scoreless innings going, ended right there. Now, bottom five, Blue Jays up 6-3. Vlad Jr. again, solo homer. Second of the game, Blue Jays up 7-3. And guess what? Jr. wasn't done yet. You know why? Bottom seven, Jays up 7-5 now.
Thank you, Doug.
Facing Kyle Finnegan, new pitcher, no problem. Vlad crushes it, opposite fence, two-run homer, third of the game, Blue for this day, and you can tell they're going to let it all out today. Absolutely. Now, we're just a day away again from the NFL draft. The 49ers' third pick is still in question. So, when asked this week about his team's decision, Kyle Shanahan said, and this is a quote, "I feel good about 5 guys at 3. We started with one candidate in mind, but all have gotten better since." Okay, 5 guys, one day to decide. Adam Schefter here to join us live from Cleveland to suss it all out. So, Adam, what's the latest you're hearing out of San Francisco with their number 3 pick?
Well, Ryan, let's take you behind the scenes a little bit. And you mentioned Kyle Shanahan say, we started out with one candidate in mind. And when the San Francisco 49ers traded up to number 3, the initial plan was that they were comfortable taking Alabama quarterback Mac Jones at number 3, but would have the chance over the next 4 and 5 weeks to do a deep dive into Justin Fields and Trey Lance. And that's exactly what this team has done. And as much as the 49ers love Mac Jones, and they do, I believe that the gap between Mac Jones and the other quarterbacks like Trey Lance has been narrowed considerably to the point where over the weekend, the organization was really going back and forth on all these quarterbacks and trying to decide what to do. And I know there are people who say, well, you don't trade up to number 3 and give up what the 49ers did without knowing who you will take. I can tell you over the weekend, they did not know who they were going to take. But I can also tell you that the initial plan was that they were good taking Mac Jones. And that was why they traded up to 3, because they were always comfortable going to that quarterback. But Trey Lance has been so impressive. He is considered the smartest quarterback in this draft, the smartest, and maybe ready to play a lot sooner than people think. And I think that's one of the reasons the 49ers are struggling with that decision. Now, I believe as of this morning, they have made that decision. I believe they come to a consensus here in the last 48 hours, the last 24 or so hours, to reach a decision. We don't know what that decision is, and we very well will not know what that decision is leading into the draft. But I think at this point they do know, and I think it was down to, in the end, those particular group of quarterbacks. Mac Jones was the favorite. Trey Lance narrowed the gap considerably, and we'll see what ultimately they settle in on.
Okay, that's huge news to think that they traded up for this a month ago, and as soon as recent as this weekend, they didn't know what they were going to do. So let's bring in Ryan Clark and Dan Orlovsky. So, all right, Dan, what should San Francisco do with the third pick?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, when Kyle Shanahan says he's got 5 guys in mind, I'm more of a Shake Shack person myself. They should take Mac Jones. They traded up to take Mac Jones. And my question would be, why not Mac Jones? Why not? Now, if someone's going to respond to me and say, well, because of the athleticism, I'm going to have an issue with that. Because first of all, again, you draft a quarterback different than you draft any other position in the NFL. It is about the mental, then the physical. It is about the skill, then the size. Second of all, being athletic, even in 2021, does not guarantee that you're going to be a great quarterback. And being an average athlete like Mac Jones is, even in 2021, doesn't mean you can't be a great quarterback. At the end of the day, it will always be about what do you do with the football at the right time. And Mac Jones does that better than anybody left after number 1 and number 2 in this selection. Now, Trey Lance. I want to talk about Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance will be the biggest flyer at the quarterback position in the history of the NFL draft. Okay, the quarterback spot is about repetition, reps and reps and reps, and getting reps to get better at it. In the last 15 years of the NFL draft, there has been one quarterback that has been selected in the first round of the NFL draft that's had under 500 reps at the quarterback spot in college football. That was Mark Sanchez. He had 487. Trey Lance has had 318 reps. 318. That would be the least amount in the last 40 years of the NFL draft for a quarterback in the first round. If they traded up to 3 for Trey Lance, that is taking a huge flyer at the quarterback spot.
RC, what's your reaction to that?
Well, I think the first thing I think about is we keep talking about trading up to 3 and having uncertainty. I'm kind of switching here and changing that. They traded up to 3 to not have Jimmy Garoppolo anymore. That was the reason. Let's finally get it out there. It wasn't that they knew for sure Mac Jones was their guy. It's that they knew Jimmy G was no longer their guy, and they had 3 quarterbacks there. And now, so you're thinking about Mac Jones, and, for the last few weeks, because I am a Justin Fields guy, I've been saying, I think Justin Fields should go here. I don't think that this is Mac Jones' position. It's not because I don't think Mac Jones can play the position. He can play the position. He can process. He can progress. He can make the throws that he needs to make with accuracy, with touch, with velocity. He can do all those things. I think he can be a fine quarterback, and whoever plays quarterback in San Francisco is going to have a chance to be good. And so Mac Jones can be the guy that you take. But when you tell me that Mac Jones was your dude and now other quarterbacks have gotten better, how have they gotten better? Ain't nobody played no football games. You knew who they were in the football field and what the film said when you made the decision. So nobody's gotten better. You've just done a little more research. And I think in the end, it still falls on Mac Jones as the 3rd pick, and he'll be just fine, even if not great.
Okay, so you think he'll be just fine. But, Dan, let me push back just a little bit here. Who do you think has the biggest upside among these quarterbacks, Dan? Because, look,
is this segment done?
We know these guys are good. We know all of them are top quality. But how do you see that part of it?
Yeah, I think the biggest upside is probably Justin Fields from Ohio State, and it doesn't even sound like he's in the conversation, so to speak. And I remember saying to RC this morning, it'll be really interesting when this comes out, why Justin isn't. I would love to hear that from San Francisco, and it's their decision. But I think he's got the greatest upside. Now, let me say this also, Ryan. While I believe that Justin has the greatest upside, I think Justin also has a little bit more of a variance of a miss, because there are some mechanical flaws in his game. I don't think there's as big a miss with Mac Jones as there could be with Justin or Trey Lance. Trey, because, again, lows the lack of repetitions and a little bit of the unknown, and Justin because of some of the mechanical flaws. So while I think those guys have a chance to be potentially greater if you hit it the right time or the right spot than Mac, I don't think you're going to miss as much with Mac Jones.
Okay, it's all about risk. Go ahead, RC.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing, dog. Like when you move up to 3,